Hello and welcome to Joy-Con Cast episode 16. I'm your host Nicholas, and this week we are talking all about that Nintendo Direct for E3 2019. It was 42 minutes packed to the brim with games, actual gameplay, new releases, new announcements, release dates, all that good stuff. And honestly, I didn't watch much of the other E3 presentations or shows this year, just because I worked through a lot of them and I just wasn't interested by the time I came home. Some of the late night ones like Bethesda's didn't really interest me this year. And while I skimmed through most of the presentations from Xbox, Square Enix, so on and so forth, the only one that I was really interested in was Nintendo's. And watching Nintendo's and comparing it to what I've seen from other conferences, Nintendo easily won E3 this year. They blew it out of the water. They destroyed it this year, in my opinion. They had some slow moments in the beginning. Maybe the first 10 minutes was a bit slow as they kind of introduced some really big information regarding Smash and Luigi's Mansion. But after that, we just got right into it. And pretty much for the rest of the 42 minutes, it was just gameplay. There wasn't a lot of interruptions. There wasn't a lot of slower, dull moments. They didn't focus too much on one game, yet they showed enough of most of the games. It was fantastic. This right here, this is what I want from E3. If you're going to do a direct-styled presentation, if you're going to go to E3 or show off new games or whatever, please, Square Enix, Bethesda, Xbox, whoever else is listening, watch this year's Nintendo Direct for E3 2019. This is what I want more of. This was a fantastic presentation. And not just what we saw, but how we saw it. The presentation was so slick and so quick and just to the point. There was tons of games featured here in a very snappy way. Alongside of that, a lot of the games that we did see, there's a huge variety. There's got to be something for everybody here. There's a little bit of everything that Nintendo showed off, and it ended up just being a really pleasing Direct. I had my expectations low for this year's E3 in general, just because, I wasn't really excited for this year's E3, just because we're in the end of this current generation for Xbox and PlayStation. Sony wasn't even at this year's E3. There's not a lot that other companies had to show. Bethesda had a huge focus on mobile games for some reason, and it was a pretty lackluster year. And I kind of went into this year's Direct with my expectations low, as I do, and the only thing I really wanted to see was Animal Crossing, which we'll talk about. We will definitely talk about. And, going through and kind of comparing my predictions, kind of right. There's definitely some that I did get right, which we'll talk about. There's a lot that I did not get right. But we'll definitely go through the Direct. I'm going to go from announcement 1 until the very end, and we'll talk about it. So, with that said, if you have not seen this year's Direct, if you want to watch it for yourself, definitely go ahead. I'm going to be talking all about it here. I'm super excited to get into it. There's just a lot here. A lot of huge announcements that I didn't expect, and some that are just a welcoming surprise. So with that said, this week we're talking all about it. Let's go ahead and actually get started with the very first announcement from this year's Nintendo E3 Direct. So first off, Nintendo showcased a brand new character from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from the Summer DLC. So this is the next character for the Fighter Pass, the Summer character, and that is Dragon Quest XI's Hero. Now, I don't play Dragon Quest. I've never played Dragon Quest. It's never really interested me. But this is still hype. This is still exciting. And I wanted to. By the way, I'm gonna drag on with this one because this E3 was so good. This is probably gonna be an episode long, a longer episode. And I do want to go through a lot of the announcements and give my in-depth thoughts, just because I do have a lot. So, first off, when it comes to Dragon Quest, there's a lot of people that I've seen on Twitter complaining about this reveal because they've never played Dragon Quest, or they don't understand it, or it's not important to them. Look, as of right now, Smash is packed full of characters that I really couldn't care less about. Joker from Persona was a cool entry and it was exciting, but I've never played Persona. I really don't care. Simon and Richter Belmont, I've never played Castlevania. I really don't care for that game franchise. But whenever you see a character from a game that's completely different than what we have currently available in Smash, it's exciting. And even if you don't play Dragon Quest, being able to play as a Dragon Quest character while they're fighting Sonic or Richter Belmont or Mario or Pac-Man or Ridley, it's exciting. It's cool. There's no other game right now that would allow this to happen. There's no other game franchise that would allow you to play as all of these different characters from a variety of games, genres, franchises. And it's awesome. It's an awesome entry. And I am kind of tempted to look into Dragon Quest XI when it releases, because this has me excited. This has me hype. And who knows, I may just give this game a shot on Switch. It's exciting for me, and I know that there are a lot of people who may not understand why it's so important, and I don't even play Dragon Quest, but I understand this is a beloved game franchise. I hear about it every year. I mean, I really do. Dragon Quest always pops up. I always hear about it, and while I may not be interested in it, this is a huge reveal for people who are fans of it, and even if you're not, it's still a cool entry. It's a game franchise that has not been represented in Smash Bros. Yet, so I say it's a welcome addition. I'm excited to play as the hero. Again, I never played Persona, but Joker's really, really cool to have. And seeing Hero in here is, I think it's pretty exciting. So I understand why a lot of people are maybe disappointed. Maybe they wanted someone more recognizable for them. But I'm excited. I'm excited either way. It's a really cool addition. Also, so it looks like during the trailer that they had, there was some different, I guess, heroes that you saw. Adric was one of them, and then there's two others. I don't recognize them. But these look like they are scans for hero in Smash. But it looked like you could do some. Let me actually pull up. I have the direct here. Let me actually pull this up so I can see. There were some weird controls that you could do playing as hero. It was different. I don't know if they were just going through his moves, but I don't know. It just looked like the gameplay for this character was a little different than others. So I'm excited. This looks like a completely different character. And yes, it is another swords fighter. But yeah, I don't know if this is just them showing off the moves, but there's this little pop-up menu where it looks like you can select some sort of effect or move or something. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's something tied in with the actual game franchise, but it looks cool. It looks interesting. So, Hero is coming to Smash Bros. Even if you don't play Dragon Quest, I still think it's a welcome surprise. It's a welcome addition. It's cool. It's cool to be able to play as yet another character from another game franchise alongside the already packed roster that Smash has to offer. I think it's awesome. It's really, really cool. So, this is the summer DLC. So, of course, we got Persona 5's Joker was spring. and then we're going to get summer, and then fall, and then winter. And I think that's it. I think there's 4 characters. Right? I think there's only 4 characters that they were showing off, or that they were adding for the fighter pass, or was there 5? I don't know. Either way, this is number 2. It is coming out this summer, which is pretty, I mean, I would say we'll see him August at the absolute latest. So this should be a very quick release character. So that's pretty cool. Moving on, they also did announce that Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition, such a long title, is coming out on September 27th of this year. So, like I said, with Dragon Quest being represented in Smash, this may be a time to get into the Dragon Quest series. This September may be a good time with the new release. So, I'm excited for Dragon Quest. I don't know if I'll actually play it, but I'll definitely have to look into it. Then moving on, we got, for the first time, a real proper introduction to the brand new president of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser. Where mistakenly, the real Bowser, the King Koopa, came out with a little tie on, all confused, all awkward. I love this. I love this little intro. I was hoping they would do something like this had they, obviously introduced Doug Bowser. Reggie's been a part of E3 for so long. Doug Bowser has to step in, take his role. I love this little skit. It would have been a missed opportunity had they not done it. But then Doug sent us off to a hotel where we were invited at a close look at Luigi's Mansion 3. And this looks incredible. They showed off quite a lot for the game, especially a lot of new functions with the new, I think it's the Poltergust G00 or G00. You can slam enemies, so you can suck them up into your vacuum and then slam them against the walls or the floor. There's a suction shot where you can shoot a little suction at something and pull it out of the way for you. There's this burst where you just, I think if they said it was pressurized air or something of the sort, and it just bursts back all the ghosts around you. And then a really cool announcement, a really cool thing they showed off was Gooigi. Gooigi. Are you kidding me? This is a GUI version of Luigi that allows you to kind of walk through closed gates, spikes, and stuff like that. So you can get around the mansion in ways that Luigi couldn't before. And this does allow for a co-op mode, so you can actually play 2-player co-op. In the direct, they said you could pass along a Joy-Con to somebody and play as Gooigi. I'm not sure if this is actually a proper, I would hope it's a fleshed out co-op where you can use pro controllers. I'm not sure if it's something like Pokemon Let's Go where you just both have a Joy-Con and that's the co-op, but that seemed pretty cool. They did go on to show Scare Scraper mode making a return, which I was a fan of on Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. I loved Scare Scraper. I didn't play it a lot. I did when it first came out. I played it a lot when it first came out. But it was actually a really, really fun, fleshed out online mode. You basically go through different levels in a mansion, or in this game, a hotel, and you need to clear out as many ghosts and find as many toads as you can within the time limit. It was a lot of fun on 3DS. I can only imagine it's going to be more jam-packed, full of fun on the Switch version. And it is online up to 8 players. I think they said it was also available. I think they said you could play online with friends. I think you could. But Scare Scraper's a lot of fun on Dark Moon. All in all, that was quite a bit of information for a game that we still don't have a release date for. It just said available in 2019. So my prediction was Luigi's Mansion would get an October release, which I still think it will. I still think it will be released. I think it'll be released before November. November's packed full of stuff. I think it will see an October release. But it's just weird that they didn't say that. Maybe they don't have a confirmed release date, or maybe they don't want to announce a date and then, God forbid, they delay it or something. But they really did show kind of what I wanted, which was just gameplay. They kind of give us a look at the story, but no release date, which I thought was odd. But hey, at least we got a lot of information on the game, and it does look awesome. It really does look awesome. So this is definitely a day one buy for me. I'm definitely intrigued with it. Next up was the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, which looks kind of like a tactical RPG, turn-based RPG of sorts. I really don't know anything about this. This looked whack. I really did not care for this at all. This is not anything in my radar. But then we saw Link's Awakening. The Link's Awakening remake. Oh my gosh. They showed off more gameplay. Actual gameplay. And it looks so good. This looks so good. I've never played Link's Awakening. So this looks like a great way to play the game for the first time. It looks so good. It looks so beautiful. I love the art style. I absolutely love this clay motion art style that they have going on. It looks so good. And mixing it between like a top-down view and a side scroller, it looks so cool. It looks so unique compared to other Zelda games and other games in general that's on the market. It looks so good. They also showed off something that was interesting, which is a dungeon maker of sorts. So it looks like, because they said on the direct, place chambers earned on your adventure to arrange a dungeon. I'm guessing as you make your way through the various dungeons, you can earn parts of that dungeon and then mix dungeons together to create your own. And then you go through the dungeon, you have a little timer. You can earn treasure, rewards, stuff like that. It looks kind of like a prototype to like a Zelda Maker, kind of similar to Mario Maker, where you can make your own Zelda dungeons, which sounds awesome. I really hope that these are available. I really doubt they'll be available to be put up on the internet. I doubt you'll be able to share them online. I have a feeling this is like not that of a fleshed out feature. I doubt this is something that is going to get online incorporated into it, but it would be cool. It would be really cool to be able to put these online for others to play through and to download other dungeons. But that looked really, really cool. And we actually got a release date for this game, September 20th, 2019, which I predicted a December release. That's because I originally wanted Animal Crossing to be released this September. But that's not happening. We'll talk about that. But yeah, September 20th was supposed to be Animal Crossing. But either way, moving on. Link's Awakening looks really, really good. I'm very excited for it. This is definitely a day one buy for me. I'm very, very excited for it. It looks so good. But yeah, my prediction was honestly, I think for my prediction, I just put literally anything because we hadn't seen a whole lot. Well, we did see gameplay when they first announced it, which was awesome. But I just wanted to see more gameplay and release date, and that's pretty much what we got. The dungeon creator looks really, really cool. So I'm very excited for Link's Awakening. But again, that comes out September 20th, 2019. Then we got to look at Trials of Mana. This is out early 2020. And then out now, available now, is the Collection of Mana, which contains various Mana games and one nice little bundle, one nice collection. I really don't know anything about this game, but it kind of looks like a JRPG of sorts. I'm not really interested in these types of games, but if you're excited for that, there you go. You've got it. Then we got a huge announcement. This is right where I fell out of my chair. I was freaking out. This was out of this world. I thought I was watching a fake direct for a second. I thought I was watching IGN or Beat 'em Up's fake direct. But The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is coming to Nintendo Switch, supposedly in 2019. Now, they did show a little bit of gameplay during the direct, and it does look muddy. I'm actually going to pull it up for myself here and play it. It does look a little muddy. You know, it doesn't look as good as it does on my PC or as it would on PS4 or Xbox. But I'm guessing this is early development. I'm sure that we've still got plenty of time until this game is going to be ready. And hey, let me actually look up real quickly. I knew, let me make sure I know who's actually porting it. I know I read it when they announced it. I looked into it, but does it say? Who is porting the game? Nobody's I want to make sure I credit the right person for this. Who is porting the game? Let me see. I can't find it. I saw it on the Nintendo Switch subreddit, but either way, I don't see who's actually porting the game. But either way, this is like an exciting release. Yes, it's an older game. When did this game actually come out? Let me actually look this up. When did it come out? 2015? Yes, 2015. So it's 4 years old. But look, there's a lot of people who have a Switch that haven't played games like this before. I have this game on PC. I never finished it, but it's cool whenever a game, even a game like from this generation, gets announced for Switch. It's cool. You know, these are games that were originally developed for PS4 and Xbox. Game consoles that are dedicated gaming consoles that sit in your living room plugged into a wall outlet. And they're big, they're giant pieces of technology. It's cool when that same game is coming to a tiny tablet. It's cool. It's different. It's interesting. So, while yes, you know, there's definitely going to be visual compromises. Let me actually pull up the direct again and watch it. It definitely does look a little muddy. It looks, you know, textures are toned down a bit. At the same time, what they did show, it didn't look that bad. If I'm being honest, if all of this is gameplay that was actually recorded on Switch, yeah, like some of the hair doesn't look so crisp, but honestly, it didn't look bad. It really did not. In my opinion, it did not look all that bad. It actually looked pretty good. So, the biggest thing is keeping this game at a consistent frame rate, at least 30 FPS, and, you know, clean up the textures, make sure it looks good. I don't want, you know, I think Mortal Kombat 11's fine. It's definitely not good looking for this generation, I guess, like compared to what we've expected, but I think it looks decent. And look, if a game studio like CD Projekt Red is going to go out of their way to make a game for Switch and make it to the best of their ability and work with as much as the Switch offers and actually try to make a competent port of a game, I'm down for it. I really am. I'm down to support it. If you're going to rush it and, you know, just release a piece of garbage because you just think you're going to get a cash grab out of it, I'm not down for it. But if The Witcher Wild Hunt, or if The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt comes out on Switch as a consistent frame rate, they have consistent resolutions, if it looks somewhat good, you know, if they're doing the best they can, I may buy this game on Switch. I may actually have to buy this game on Switch. I think it would be awesome to have on the go. I think it'd be awesome to play, you know, anywhere. I really do. So I'm excited for that. And while, yeah, obviously it's not going to look as good as other systems, if they can get it running decently, I mean, this is a massive open world RPG. there's a lot of compromises they're gonna have to make. But if they can get it running consistent frame rate resolution and at least make it a competent version of the game, I am down for it. I will buy this game. I can't promise I'll actually finish it, but it'd at least be fun to have on Switch. The other thing that really concerns me is pricing. Right now, I'm actually looking at this on Amazon, and for PS4, the complete edition is roughly $40. Let me actually see. This might be used. Let me actually make sure. Let me actually go to like GameStop real quick. Let me go to, because that was Amazon. Let me go to GameStop and actually see what this is. Let me make sure I'm looking at a new copy. So The Witcher 3. Buy new, it's $40 new. So yeah, it's $40 right now, the complete edition. So, when this game lands on Switch, I expect it to be no more than $40. Please, don't add any Switch tax. I understand there's a lot of money that's spent developing these games. I get that. I understand that. But it's not fair. Especially when we're going to get a lower res version of the game. That's probably going to have bugs and glitches and stuff like that. So, yeah, I expect the game to be $40 when it launches on Switch. They did say there's a 2019 release date. I don't know how true that's going to be, and I wouldn't be upset if they pushed it back. I really wouldn't be upset if they pushed it back to like an early 2020 release. Anything they have to do to rid their employees of time crunch and to ensure that the game is the best it can be. It still feels crazy to even be talking about The Witcher coming to Switch. That's crazy. Wow. That's really crazy. I don't know. Either way, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And I think that by now, I mean, like I said, this game has been out for 4 years now. By now, we've seen this game in 4K. We've seen this game with high frame rate. We've seen this game, yada, yada, yada. And yes, the Switch version is not going to look as good. But this late into the game's release, like, I doubt anybody's going to buy this game for Switch expecting it to look as good as other systems. Because you're not buying it for that. You're buying it for the portability. So I think comparing it to other systems, it doesn't look that bad. And when you take into account the portability that the Switch offers, I think it's 100% fine. I really do. I think it's fine. I'm impressed that this is happening to begin with. As long as they keep frame rate rock solid, as long as they keep resolutions very consistent, I'm down for this game. And if it ends up being a competent version of the game, I will definitely buy this. With that said, let's move on because we're running very, very long into Witcher. But I'm just excited. It's such a cool announcement. It really is. That did not make my predictions whatsoever. I heard about the leaks regarding the game. I never talked about them because I never thought they had much merit. But The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is actually coming to Nintendo Switch, supposedly this year. Moving on. As predicted, as expected, we did get a nice little trailer for Fire Emblem Three Houses. Again, we've already seen this game 1,000 times now, and we've known about its release date for quite some time. But we actually got just a nice little trailer. A nice little trailer to remind everyone of its July 26th release date. And it looks really good. I'm very excited for this game. Definitely a day one for me. Moving on, we had this really cool little Switch advert where these two people went into a haunted house to play Resident Evil. And I thought this was cool. It was halfway through the direct. It was a nice little break from just game announcement after game announcement. And yeah, some people may think this was pointless. I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cool little way to like incorporate the idea that right now Switch is the only machine that can do this. It's the only console where you can play console quality games and take them to a haunted house and play them wherever you want. I thought this was kind of cool, and it really honed in on the idea and the creativity of the Switch. And while, yeah, like, this was kind of a far out example, I don't know how many people are going to a haunted house to play Resident Evil, but it really shows that, yeah, you can play this game anywhere. And I thought it was really, really cool. I liked it. It did maybe run on a little long, but for being a nice, like, halfway point in the direct, it was just a nice break, and I thought it was cool. I liked it. I thought it was a nice little advert. And then they announced that 2 more Resident Evil games were coming to Switch, and I don't know why. I was over here expecting, like, because we just got The Witcher 3. I thought we were about to do, like, Resident Evil 2 remake or Resident Evil 7. We're getting Resident Evil 5 and 6, which is still pretty exciting. As of right now, there are 5 main Resident Evil games on Switch. Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 6. And of course, we have the Revelations games, Resident Evil Revelations 1 and Revelations 2. So that's pretty exciting. So if you're a fan of Resident Evil, your games are on Switch. Capcom is here in full force supporting the Switch with Resident Evil titles. I'm not a fan of Resident Evil. I would have loved to check the games out when they released earlier this May, but for that extra $10, I just couldn't justify it. And that kind of worries me what the pricing for 5 and 6 are going to be, because right now, those games, if I'm not mistaken, let me actually pull this up. I guess I could have done it on GameStop. Let me check. I could just do it on Steam. I have Steam pulled up. Let me check the pricing. I know 6. I think 6 is still listed pretty high. So Resident Evil 4. So yeah, everywhere else, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, and Resident Evil 4 are $20. On Switch, they're $30. Resident Evil 5 is right now $20. So that'll probably be $30 on Switch. And on Steam, Resident Evil 6 is still $30. So it'll probably be $40 on Switch. Just the pricing for the games makes it very hard to be excited. But hey, if you're a Resident Evil fan, congrats. You're getting Resident Evil games on Switch. I'm sure that's really, really cool. It's very exciting. It really is. So that's that. And then we got the announcement that No More Heroes 3 is coming to Switch 2020. I don't know anything about these games. I really don't. Whenever I see announcement trailers for these, I just get more and more confused. They do less and less of a good job of explaining what the heck we're even playing. But if you're a fan of No More Heroes 3 launches 2020. There you go. And then we got a first look at a brand new Contra game, Contra Rogue Corp, coming to Switch September 24th. I really don't care too much for the Contra games, but this is definitely a really cool little surprise. So it's coming. When was that? September 24th. It said. Yeah, September 24th. So that's pretty quick. That's pretty quick release. So that's available September 24th, and I believe that's on let me actually see. Is that there's no way that's only a Switch title, right? I don't know if it's only on Switch. I know that they showed it during the Switch announcement or the direct. It did look, as far as gameplay wise, I'm skimming through the gameplay. It doesn't look great. It really doesn't. It like the gameplay it looks like something from the 3DS or the DS. And I would say, well, be optimistic. It's still in early development, but the game comes out in September. So like, yeah, it doesn't look. It looks kind of rough, but on the upside, there is a Contra collection where I think there's like 10 different games. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's about like 10 Contra games. It's the anniversary collection. Is coming to Nintendo Switch, And that's available, if I'm not mistaken, right now. That's available today. So, if you're a fan of Contra, not only are you getting a brand new Contra game this September, but you also have the Contra Collection, which has 10 games and a 74-page ebook. And it said it was available later today during the actual direct. So I believe that's up now. So go scoop that up if you're a fan of Contra. Next up, we did see some more look at Daemon X Machina or Machinima or Machina. I don't know how you pronounce it. We did get some more gameplay like I wanted. I predicted... let me actually see if I can find the prediction. Let me see. I predicted brief gameplay popping up. I said a follow-up demo. I kind of meant like demo gameplay during the, just a demo of the game during like the actual E3 with the new info and gameplay. And I predicted a possible August release because it said it was coming out September. Or said it was coming out in summer. And it's actually coming out in September. It's coming out September 13th, which I wouldn't say is summer. I would say that's the start of fall. But that's still pretty close. That's still pretty good. And honestly, this game can probably wait until September. It's not that far away from the promised summer release. But watching the gameplay, man, this game still looks so good. I really did. I just got really hyped watching this game again because we didn't, like last year when they showed this game off, we got some gameplay, like we got to look at it. But now knowing what's actually in store for this game, the gameplay looks so cool. So I'm very excited for the game. I did play the demo that was released earlier this year, and the biggest thing that I said was just cleaning up the textures. So hopefully that's what they did. Just clean up the game a little bit visually. So that was my biggest concern. But I wouldn't really say that's a huge delay. I mean, September's pretty close to the summer release date that they promised. And it does look really good. So, September 13th, 2019 for Nintendo Switch. I'm down for it. I'm interested in it. It looks really, really good. After that, we got a look at Panzer Dragoon, which I think is a remake of some sorts. I really don't know anything about this game. And it really didn't interest me too much when they were showing it off. But that's coming this winter. It looked interesting. It looked kind of cool. It's probably a game I'll skip out on, but that's coming out this winter. Then Astral Chain. My prediction was literally anything. We didn't really know anything about this game besides the August release. They actually did show quite a bit of this game. Some gameplay, kind of some cinematic trailers. Just a little bit of everything, and it looks so interesting. It really does. It looks really, really good, and I feel like this is a game that's gonna end up being a really big, good game, and the sales figures aren't gonna represent that. Because I feel like a lot of people might skip out on this game, and it does look kind of like a niche game, but it looks cool. It looks interesting. I'll definitely give this game a shot. It's still confirmed for an August 30th release date, so no delay there. It's still coming out August, and it looks really, really good. So, I'm glad that both Daemon X Machina and this game got some more time to shine this E3, and we actually got some more information and a better look at both of them, because they look like really, really good games. They look like out of my comfort zone, which is why I'm excited to try both of them out. But I'm excited. They look really, really good for what they are. They look unique and different, so they're worth trying out for me personally. Then moving on, we got a look at a different game of sorts. This game is called Empire of Sin. It's actually come out spring 2020, and it looks kind of like a top-down shooter of sorts. We didn't really see anything, but it looks like it's a Switch exclusive. It actually looked really, really cool. I'm not sure if this is like an indie game or if this is being backed by a bigger publisher, but it looks cool. I'm excited to see more about this game. It looked cool. It looked like it was set kind of like in the maybe around like the 40s or 50s, around that time period. I don't know the story. They didn't really show anything except just people shooting other people. But it looked cool. I'm excited for it. So, that was Empire of Sin. It's coming out spring 2020. Then we got a look at Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. This game still looks so good. I'm so excited for this game. It's still coming out July 19th, 2019. They just showed off some more gameplay. Better look at some new characters, some new heroes, that sort of thing. And it looks so good. I'm so excited for this game. I want this game now. I really do want this game now. They also did announce that there's an expansion pass, which is available now today. Starting fall of this year, there'll be new content from Marvel Knights, X-Men, and Fantastic Four. So I'm assuming that it's kind of like a DLC type thing where you'll be able to get characters from those series. And I don't know if there'll be additional missions or if you just get access to the characters. I'm not too sure how that works. I've never played a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, so I'm not sure if there's been DLC like this in the past. But it's an expansion pass of some sort, so I'm guessing there's some sort of new content other than characters. And I do actually want to see real quick. Let me see if this is featured. So the expansion pass itself, it looks like it's only $20. It's $20. So the main game is of course $60. The expansion is $20. I may have to buy that actually. I may buy the I may have to buy the DLC for it because it looks kind of cool. Man, they're really getting me. They're really getting my wallet this summer. I'm telling you. But that's coming out again July 19th, 2019. Then we got another look at Cadence of Hyrule, which was the kind of the I don't know how to explain it. It's the Crypt of the Necrodancer plus Legend of Zelda mix, basically, where you play as Link and Zelda in Hyrule, and you have to beat things. You have to fight to the beat. You have to fight enemies to the beat. I'm not sure actually how it works. I've never played this game, but it was cool that this game got some spotlight, some time to shine this E3. Back when this game was announced, I was pretty excited for it. I'm not gonna buy it. It's not something that I'm personally excited for. But having Zelda be incorporated into a indie game is pretty cool. And it's a big step forward for both Brace Yourself Games and for Nintendo, because it's cool whenever you see a big Nintendo franchise incorporated into another franchise. So it's really, really cool. And this is actually coming out June 13th, 2019. So it's available today. If you're watching this when the episode goes up, it's available today. I'm not too sure why they didn't just release this the day of. They could have easily just released this on that Tuesday. I don't know what the importance of those 2 days were. I'm really not too sure. That was kind of weird to me then, and it's still weird to me now, but hey, it's available now, so if this is something you're interested in, maybe go pick it up. Then we also got a first look at Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. It's due for a November release. I don't really care too much for these games anymore. I liked I played some of them. I've played most of them actually. And I liked them. But at this point, it's like, I mean, it's nice that they're keeping it up. I guess it's nice that they're keeping the franchise going. I'm sure there's a lot of people that still enjoy these games. I'm not one of them, but it looks pretty good. There's some new, just like rock climbing and karate and fighting of some sorts. Boxing is the word I'm looking for. I don't know how many of these were already incorporated into earlier Mario and Sonic games. But it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like a Mario and Sonic game. I'm sure that if you enjoy these games, you're probably going to enjoy this one. But, yeah, it's out this November, which is pretty soon. So, there you go. Moving on. Animal Crossing time. Oh my gosh, I'm actually watching the gameplay trailer again for the 500th time. Oh my god, I'm so this game looks so good. This game looks so good. This game looks so good. So in this is actually Animal Crossing New Horizon. We have a title. We have gameplay. The gameplay looks so good. Oh my god, it looks so good. In this game you're actually going to a deserted island for I guess a getaway of some sort. And it looks so good. There's a crafting system. You can craft stuff at a workbench. So you can make your own axe. Of course, you can chop down trees, rocks, all that stuff. What's really cool is you can decorate the island, and I don't think you could really do this. You couldn't do this to that much of an extent in New Leaf. Like in New Leaf, you could build different ordinance. What's the word I'm looking for? Not ordinance. But the different like work projects. You could have those built, but that was it. Like you couldn't really decorate the your island or your village at all. This you can put like campfire down. You can have blankets set out, a radio. You can actually put like chairs around and signs up. It looks so good. You can decorate your village or your town. It looks so nice. Oh my god, it looks so good. Oh my god, I forgot about that. You can leap from one side of your village to another. What on earth? There's no bridge. You just leap. It looks so cool. It looks so nice. They showed off gameplay for summer. I'm guessing that was summer, fall, and then they have winter, which looks so nice. The game looks so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you can dig your own paths. You can like dig out. I'm guessing you're digging out grass or planting dirt or something of that. You can make your own path. Before you couldn't do that. You had to use like I forgot what they were called. It's been so long since I've played New Leaf, but there was kind of ways to do it before where you could scan a QR code and place like a pattern down on the ground. But this way you can actually make your own path, and it looks so cool. It actually looks nice. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. But yeah, you can do paths. You can actually decorate your village. It looks so nice. There's so many different there's like swinging chairs and a barbecue grill and a water fountain. It looks so nice. You can play online. They didn't confirm this in the direct. I didn't unfortunately watch any Treehouse. I just didn't have time for it. I'm guessing there's online up to 8 people, which is massive. It's crazy. So it's such a good looking game. It's such a fantastic game. This is everything that I've wanted from Animal Crossing. It looks like there's wind. You can change camera directions. You no longer in New Leaf. You had to go to the actual island to get certain fruit or catch certain bugs. You don't have to do that this time around. You're on an island, so that's really really cool. The one thing that's kind of disappointing out of all of this, it was announced as a 2019 release date, and it is now delayed until March 20th, 2020. Now, at first, I was disappointed. I was really upset. But I'm just happy. We got a title. We got a release date. We got gameplay. I am blessed. I love everything about this. I'm happy. I don't know how I'm going to make it this long without the new Animal Crossing game, because I predicted this game was going to come out in September. So for me, this is a long time to wait. But after thinking about it, March is a much better, spring and summer is so relaxing in Animal Crossing. It's such a great time to start up your town. And releasing it in fall probably wouldn't have been the best. So I actually really like the March 20th release date. You're releasing it nice and early in the spring. It's going to be warm. It's going to be nice. It's going to be relaxing. It's going to be cozy. It's better than playing it in the fall and winter and having to wait until spring and summer. So I'm down for it. Also, hey, if this improves the quality of the game, if this removes the need for a crunch over at Nintendo, If this makes employees happier to be working on the game, I'm all for it. We constantly hear about time crunch and how people are working overtime and slaving away time just to get games done. Yes, this is a huge loss for this year. This would have been an amazing 2019 game, but I am immensely proud of Nintendo for delaying it, for taking the time to work on it, polish it, give their employees a break. I can't imagine what it's like to be working on such a big game like Animal Crossing. And the game's going to sell well regardless. They could push this game back a whole year and say, well, it's not coming out till December of 2020. And while that would be devastating, people are still going to go out and buy it. It's a huge game. People can wait. And in a, gaming is a industry that just, you constantly hear bad things about the development behind games and the time crunch and this and that. And yeah, it's a huge loss for Nintendo. I'm sure, I read actually that a lot of investors pulled out, their market's gone down. And yeah, they did kind of lie, because I think at their investor meeting earlier this year, they did still say Animal Crossing is a 2019 game. But look, if it means that their employees are having a better time working on it and that I'm going to have a better time playing it, I'm all for it. So as devastating as it is to hear, when you think about it and you put it into perspective, there are plenty of other games to be playing this year. Link's Awakening, Mario Maker, Astral Chain, Daemon X Machina, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Luigi's Mansion. The list goes on and on. There's plenty of games, not to mention Pokemon. There's plenty of other games to fill us with enough content before this game's released. So, as devastating as it is to hear, I'm fine with it if it means that employees are going to have a better time working on it and we'll end up getting a more polished game. So, with that said, I'm just happy that we got a release date for it, gameplay, all that stuff. And my prediction for this game was actual gameplay, new gimmick and features, which we kind of got through crafting, being able to jump over your town, decorating your town, 8-player online. We got a lot of that. And we actually got the release date. So I pretty much got all of those right. I wanted a September release date just because I was wishful thinking on my part. But hey, I'm excited. We're getting Animal Crossing. It looks splendid. It looks fantastic. So let's move on with the direct. A pretty cool little surprise. Spyro Reignite Trilogy is coming September 3rd. I'm not too big of a fan of Spyro, to be honest, but it coming to Switch is pretty big. I actually bought Crash Bandicoot on Switch, and I play it every now and then. So I'll definitely be picking this game up this September. Well, I shouldn't say definitely, because Daemon X Machina comes out, Link's Awakening comes out, Astral Chain comes out just on the brink of September. So maybe I'll skip out on it at first, but still a very exciting game coming to Switch. And then this kind of kicked off a quick little highlight reel put together by Nintendo. And there are some actual really good goodies in here. So we're going to go through it. So Spyro's coming to Switch. They showed kind of a game montage of just a bunch of games. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch is coming September 20th, 2019. Minecraft Dungeons is coming spring 2020, and this game actually looked good. It kind of reminded me almost of like a Diablo type game where you go through. I'm guessing it's like a looter type game. It looked really cool, so I'm keeping my eye out on this. I'm definitely keeping my attention towards this game because it looked pretty cool. Then of course the Elder Scrolls Blades is coming to Switch fall 2019. Bethesda showed this at their conference this year. It was originally a mobile game for iOS, and I guess now Switch. I don't know who asked for this game for Switch, but It's coming. My Friend Pedro is coming June 20th, 2019. This game looked really, really cool. For some reason, I thought this was already out, but apparently it's not. And it is on sale right now on the eShop, so I may have to pre-purchase this game, because it did look kind of awesome. I may have to scoop that game up. Doom Eternal is coming soon. And we actually now know, I think that game comes out in November. Let me actually see real quick. Doom Eternal is coming out. I know they showed it off. I know they said something. November 22nd. November 22nd. So that's pretty soon, I'd say. It's towards the end of this year. I actually recently did just pick up the original Doom on Switch. It's half off right now. It's $30, which is still quite a lot. But I'm gonna give that game a go on Switch. And see what it's like. And I may just end up picking up Doom Eternal on Switch as well. So I'm excited for it either way. I'm definitely picking up Doom Eternal either way, whether it's on PC or Switch, but we'll have to see. The Sinking City is coming fall 2019 as well. Wolfenstein Youngblood, July 26th, 2019. Dead by Daylight is now coming out September 24th, 2019. The game still looks kind of meh. They showed off some more gameplay, and it looks kind of meh, but I guess. Then Alien Isolation, out of nowhere, in this little highlight reel, Alien Isolation is coming 2019. I played some of this on PC, and man, oh man, this game would be cool to have on Switch. That was an interesting one. Super Lucky Tale is coming fall. New Super Lucky's Tale, I should say, is coming fall 2019. And of course, that wasn't it. We had some big information afterwards. After that little highlight reel, we had another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate reveal, and that is Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Bros. Ultimate. And unfortunately, right before this announcement was made, I pulled up Twitter. I watched this direct after the fact, because I worked through the direct. I had to go to work, so I watched it like 5 hours after it came out. And I was like towards the end of the direct, so I pulled up Twitter, and the first thing I saw on Twitter, I forgot who tweeted this, but somebody tweeted the updated Smash art with Banjo and Kazooie, and so I saw it, and so this announcement was kind of ruined for me. Granted, it was my own fault for going on Twitter 5 hours after the direct, but still, it's a really cool announcement. Banjo-Kazooie coming to Smash. This was one that I know a lot of people wanted, and it's really cool. Going back to what I was talking about earlier with Hero coming to Smash from Dragon Quest, even if you're not a fan of these franchises, the diversity in Smash with the different characters and franchises is awesome. And it's something that you will never see in any other game. And even if you do, I can't imagine it's going to be as cool as Smash Bros. Does it. So this was definitely a very exciting one. I know a lot of people are happy about this. If you weren't excited for Hero, you should be excited for Banjo. If you're not excited for Banjo, you should be excited for Hero. This was kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, there's a lot of diversity in this direct. So I'm very excited for Banjo-Kazooie. And it is the fall 2019 Fighter Pass. So quite a ways away, but at least we know. So that's very, very, very exciting. Banjo-Kazooie is actually coming to Smash Bros., which is awesome. So, but that wasn't it. After that, we got a brief little cinematic trailer for something Breath of the Wild related. And I thought this was some sort of DLC or new content for the game or new expansion pass or something for Breath of the Wild. And I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry about that. But I was kind of thinking to myself, like, Breath of the Wild is like older now. Like it's the first game to be released on Switch. Why is it still getting DLC when there are plenty of games that came out after it that have yet to see any sort of updates? And then they hit us with the big news. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is now in development. They are developing the sequel now. That is crazy. Wow, this is soon. This is really soon. Like, this is something that I would see in a leak, and I'd be like, there's no way. Like, there's just no way. I would have expected at least 2020 to even mention that this game's in development. But apparently they're already working on it. So I'm excited. The game looks darker. Like, it looks like kind of like Breath of the Wild looks like it was what Ocarina of Time was. And then Breath of the Wild 2 looks like what Majora's Mask was. It just looks darker and twisted. So I'm excited for this. I'm not expecting to see this game anytime soon. And I don't want this to get the Metroid Prime treatment where they announce the game just to kind of please us and hold us over, and then it ends up being not necessarily delayed, but we just don't see it for a while. Like, Metroid Prime 4 was shown off at the very first E3. There have been 2 E3s since then, and there's been no mention of it. So I'm all for, like, most of the games revealed during this Direct had gameplay to accompany them, which I thought was awesome, because there's a lot of other conferences this year at E3 that just had cinematic trailers. And to actually have gameplay for most of your game announcements was awesome. And I'm kind of nervous that if there's not gameplay, if gameplay is not ready, the announcement's not ready. And I'm not saying you need to have the entire game finished or you need to have 10 minutes worth of it finished, but I mean, if you have to show a cinematic trailer because that's all you have, how far into development is it, and how close to an announcement is it really at? Do you know what I mean? But either way, it was just kind of a nice reassurance that at least it's in development. So if you're a fan of Zelda, you should be very happy. The Switch launched with arguably, well, at least in my opinion, the best Zelda game. We're getting a really interesting and cool remake to Link's Awakening. Breath of the Wild 2 is in development now. There is a lot going on when it comes to Zelda. So, yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 is in development. I don't know what to think. I really do hope that it's more or less the same as Breath of the Wild, just with a darker undertone, new armor, new weapons. They're gonna have to fill the map because these are using the Breath of the Wild assets, which I'm sure saves a lot of development time, by the way. But I really hope that they fill the map with the new stuff, because playing Breath of the Wild for as long as I have been now, like, I can't imagine going back to that same map, you know, and being as impressed now as I was back then. So I really hope that they fill it with new enemies, maybe new areas, you know, open up new areas to explore. Knowing Nintendo, I'm sure they'll do something. To make the map a little more interesting and entertaining for all of us that have already played Breath of the Wild. So, yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 is in development. Pretty cool thing to end off on, but I don't want this game to get the Metroid Prime 4 treatment. I really don't. But not getting my hopes up. We'll see what happens. With that said, that was the Direct. That was Nintendo's E3 2019 Direct. And honestly, that was probably the best Direct, at least this year. Definitely, at least this year. I like this much better than last year's. Last year just had too much of a focus on Smash. Like, even this year, if Nintendo actually had Animal Crossing ready and had half of the show featuring Animal Crossing, as much as like as big of a fan as I am of Animal Crossing, I probably would have been bored. I probably wouldn't have enjoyed that as much. But I thought this year was much better. They didn't focus too much on any game in particular, and yet still found enough time to give a glimpse at most games with actual gameplay, which was awesome. So I thought this Direct was amazing. I think it was so much better than last year's Direct. I think it blew everyone else out of the water easily. And I'm not saying that because I have bias towards Nintendo or Nintendo games. I'm saying that because this was just a jam-packed Direct. You didn't have any public speakers coming out on stage talking about stuff that no one really cares about. You didn't have wasted time in between, swapping over to the next game. It was a pre-recorded presentation, and it flowed, and it worked. It gave people time to look over this Direct and make sure it was the best it could be when they showed it. And compared to how other companies put on their E3 presentation, this is by far the best way to do it, in my opinion. As much as I do have fun at some live performances, like Ubisoft and E3 and Sony in the past, they used to do really cool things. It just drags on, and you realize, like, at the end of the day, video games are interactive media. Give me gameplay. Show me what it is I'm going to be interacting with. I don't want to watch a movie trailer for something that has no purpose. Even though it was cool that Keanu Reeves came out for Cyberpunk, that was awesome. I don't want him talking to me about the game and what we're going to be seeing and what we're going to be doing. Show me gameplay. Show me what I'm actually going to be doing in a year when I play it. So I think this was the best way to handle E3. There's been some misses with Nintendo at E3, but this has been one of the hits. And I think Sony's starting to pay attention because they left E3 this year. They've been doing their own State of Play, which is kind of a direct styled presentation. Hopefully Xbox listens up. And some of these other companies realize, like, it's okay to not be at E3. You don't need a strong E3 presence to have a strong presence in the industry. It didn't look like there was a lot that some companies really had to offer. Like, yeah, there were some new games from Bethesda. Deathloop looked really cool. Ghostwire looked interesting. But how far are those into development? How close are those to release? I think having E3 in the middle of the year every year pushes and requires some of these companies to do as much as they can in a short time frame to ensure that they have stuff to show off at E3. And I think it's kind of an unhealthy approach. And having a Direct where you can just announce things when it's time is incredible. Either way, I think Nintendo killed it this year. I think their Direct was a 10 out of 10. I could not have asked for a better Direct. It was amazing. Yeah, we're missing some stuff. I'll actually go through my predictions real quick. So pretty much the first party stuff I got mostly correct. Animal Crossing, Astral Chain, Luigi's Mansion, I wanted to see. We saw a Fire Emblem trailer. We saw Super Mario Maker 2 trailer in the highlight reel. We did get a Smash Bros. Character reveal. I would have loved it, Doom Guy. I know he's not going to ever make it, but that's that. We did see some Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff. Link's Awakening, Daemon X Machina. Town, we did not see, which makes me feel like it's delayed to 2020. Again, it was announced as a 2019 game. I'm guessing 2020 for that game, since we did not see anything. The focus right now at Game Freak is probably Pokemon, so Town is probably in the back burner. I did want Nintendo Switch Doom gameplay. We actually got gameplay at Bethesda's conference, but not on Switch. I still really liked the Doom gameplay. I really loved it, but I want to see what it looks like on Switch. And I put on here Netflix. Maybe this kind of counts, because Netflix did have a game coming to Switch. So I got that right. And then my far out predictions, absolutely none of these came true. There was no Metroid Prime Trilogy. Bayonetta 3 was not there. There was no Pikmin 4. They said nothing about an SNES library for Nintendo Switch Online. So, those were just wrong. Those were just wrong. But all in all, this was a perfect direct. Even though there was a lot missing that I would have liked to see, it was announcement after announcement after announcement with actual gameplay accompanying most of these games, which was awesome. So, Nintendo killed it. This was by far my favorite E3 this year. It was much better than last year. I think, honestly, I might have to skim through the 2017 E3. And actually compare it. But, this might have been better than I remember really liking the 2017 one. But this might have been better than that as well. Just because it was just game after game, and I loved it. It was amazing. But either way, I think at this point I'm just rambling on. This was by far the best E3 this year. And there's just so much goodness, from The Witcher to seeing Fire Emblem, from the Smash Bros. Announcements to Spyro to so many games, so much content. So all in all, 10 out of 10 Direct. I really liked it. I was pleased by it. My wallet is just in shambles. By the way, there is currently a huge Switch sale going on the eShop right now. Some games are up to half off. A lot of good stuff in here. Some good stuff in here. All Bethesda games, Wolfenstein 2, Skyrim, Doom, those are all half off. I don't know why NBA 2K19 is only $3. I really don't care for this. I may just buy it just because it's $3. Even though I really don't care about basketball at all, for $3, it's normally $60. I might as well. Cryptid the Necrodancer is currently $3. It's normally $20. Oh, dang. Okay, that's a good one. Hollow Knight is half off. Final Fantasy VII is 20% off. Let's see. I'm looking at some of these other ones. Some of these I purchased, so it won't tell me how much they actually are. Undertale is 25% off. My Friend Pedro is $17. It's normally $20. I may have to pre-purchase that. Unravel 2 is half off. Wargroove is $13. I may pick that up. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is $30. It's half off. Most of the first party games, well, some of them, like I think Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong, Kirby, some of those are 33% off. So they are $40 right now. Let's see what else is on here. Civilization 6 is $40. Hyrule Warriors is $40. Let me see what else. Dragon Ball FighterZ is 30% off. Some good stuff in here. Some decent stuff. Mega Man 11 is $23. Starlink, I think, is half off. Again, Darksiders is 20% off. Trials Rising is $15. For $15, I may pick that game up, actually. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and probably buy some more Switch games. With that said, that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what you guys thought about this year's Nintendo Direct for E3 2019. I had a blast with it. I thought it was amazing. So definitely let me know what you guys thought. With that said, that's going to do it for now. Thank you all for tuning in this week. You guys all know the end gibberish. If you want to follow us, share the video, enjoy it, all that stuff. Either way, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.